Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you, peace out to the rest of you. You know who it is with the press and why. Let me get straight to this. I said it's war, but don't think for 1 second that it's only Boom Shika and Bonquisha and Sapphire that's fighting this war. When I say this war, I'm talking about the wicked witches of the West in general. But and that includes Karen and Becky and Amber. Sometimes that includes Marisol. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it includes Ming, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it may include Zahra, and most of the time it won't. But keep in mind that usually the war is being fought against you by the wicked witch of the West. And keep also in mind that Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire's war is not as intense as Amber's and Becky's and Karen's wars against you. Don't get that twisted. Brad is still at war with you. I think y'all should know that. But his woman is also at war with you, even if she wants to lay down with you and screw you. She's still at war with you. Because even though they know that biogenetically you are human, in the back of their mind, you were still a niggerilla. And I said it that way intentionally because I'm trying to describe what goes through their minds. Honestly, Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire look at you like that. But they demand that you be the negative stereotype to be with them. And we black men have learned to look at each other through her eyes. She's looking at you through Brad's eyes, and you're looking at each other through her eyes. And you're judging each other this way. PUAs, dating coaches, oftentimes they've taken on the same thing, taken on the same problem. And even the white woman is looking at her white man and judging him by his ability to compete with the niggerilla on the basketball court or in the gym or on the football field or in the boxing ring. Even she's looking at him like that. See, the sister will let the white Brad off the hook. He doesn't have to be as physically intimidating. He can even paint his fingernails and still get, he can still get them black cheeks. He doesn't even have to have as much. But the white woman is looking for the white dude that can compete with the brothers, physically speaking. That's what she's looking for. If she's looking for a white dude, she may be looking for a brother. But what I'm getting at is that when it comes to you, the actual black man, Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire, they're going to weaponize the system against you if they know you. And there's some involvement and then they disagree. Amy Cooper did not have to know Christian Cooper to call the cops on him. And she said to him before she called the cops, I'm going to tell him an African American's harassing me. Because she knew what that was going to do. Black football player in the NFL, I forgot his name, kicked a white woman out of one of his parties. She was like, I'm going to tell who they going to believe. I'm going to call the cops on you. Who they going to believe, me, a white woman, a white girl, or you, a black man? They know that they can evoke and stoke the white man's fears of the niggerilla gone wild, and they show up with their pistols. They know this. I don't view us as this. They do. I'm not using the term niggerilla to explain to you how I see us. I'm using this to explain to you how Brad sees us, how Becky, Amber, and Karen see us, and even how Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire expect us to be in order to win the rights to their draws. The niggerilla is the one that Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire want to have the kids with, but they want to take them kids to the thinking black man. We already know that. That's war. That's a genetic and reproductive war. But you forgot something, a lot of you. Do not think that when I'm telling you that we got to bounce from her because she's pushing us away, that I mean for 1 second you need to go for that Western European Caucasian woman. You do not. Because they will fight a war with their own men. Even if they fetishize you, don't think they ain't going to fight a war with you. Amy Cooper and Patricia Ripley in Miami just proved that they will do that. And they will fight it even more viciously. Amy Cooper called the cops on the man because he was right. Put the dog on a leash. Now, she didn't call the cops on him even though he was a very accomplished and well-spoken, non-stereotypical black man. She called the cops on him because he was. If he had said to her in Ebonics, bitch, put that dog on a leash, and he lifted his shirt and showed a gun in his waist and said, I won't shoot him if you put him on the leash, she would have put the dog on the leash. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. I need to have the leash. I'm sorry. Enjoy your day, sir. She would not have called the cops right then, not where he could see her, because she would have been afraid he would have pulled that pistol, pulled out that hammer, and done his job and stopped her from calling them cops. Or at least put the gun in her head, took the phone, but like, bitch, you know what you're doing is wrong. And thrown the phone in the water or something. You see, when that lady in, I think it was Oakland, called the cops on that family for barbecuing last summer, or was it the summer before? Don't get it twisted. They were nice and civil to her. That's why she felt comfortable doing it. If one of them had showed her a pistol, she probably would have called the cops, but she would have done it a little bit later when she was out of sight. They're fighting a serious war against you too. Don't think that because you're a thinking black man that white woman's less likely to do it. No, she's more likely to do it while you're sitting there looking because you're a thinking black man and you ain't a stereotype. Now, if you are that niggerilla stereotype, she'll at least wait to do it. But what they're pretty much saying to you is different than what you think. They're not saying to you, you act like a wild niggerilla, I'm gonna get you killed. No, it's more like if you really aren't one, I'm gonna tell them you want to get you killed. Don't get smart with me. Even though you're that smart nigga, you're still a nigga. But I'm going to have them coming in expecting the niggerilla with the bullets. You don't put me in my place. And that's exactly how I feel about white folks. White South Africans too. Especially the Boers. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. Especially ain't gonna tell me the opposite of what I want to do. Not with that accent. I'm gonna do the opposite. And that's one thing I love about being here in the Gulf where I am. White South African tells me something I don't want to abide by, especially with that Boer accent. No, I'm gonna do the opposite. I know you ain't scared of black folks physically. I know you'll hit a Zulu, but you ain't come across a Mandingo yet. I'm not a mandingo. I'm a mandingo. And I mean that literally. That's on my mother's side. She comes from that part of West Africa. You ain't been up against the Wolof yet. You ain't tried that. We will go upside your head. And I carry some of your blood, so I'm capable of holding a grudge just like you are. The difference is I hold a grudge against you because you're the problem. I don't hold a grudge against the rest of my people because they were the victims. So, I'm letting you know, man, they're going to fight these wars. I'm telling you how they think because I spied on them. They're coming from a place of arrogance. Patricia Ripley called the cops on black men who didn't do anything. They didn't even exist. They weren't even there. It was her crime. And she made it sound so doggone stupid because she felt that comfortable, because she took for granted that she was going to get away with it. Same as Daniel Holtzclaw. When that white jury convicted Daniel Holtzclaw, he mouthed to them, how could you do this to me? Because there was an understanding. Even though he's half Japanese, his other half is white. His victims were black. How could you do this to me? They're just niggers. I was trying to win your approval and make you forget about my half Japanese side. And now you put me in prison for these niggers. Yeah, that's real. That's a problem. They're not playing games. Sometimes they overestimate how much they can get away with it, but that's because they think they can get away with it. Now, if they think they can get away with it, they're raising a generation of kids to believe this. That next generation of kids will be the jurors in the next 30 years. Those jurors will believe that they should get away with it. We're not moving forwards when it comes to racial justice. We're moving backwards. Trump don't mind helping you out with the unemployment, but believe you me, he is not about to do anything to these white folks that do something to you, and he's not about to pardon no real black, pro-black revolutionaries and let them out of prison. He ain't gonna let Jamil Al-Amin out of prison. If he was really good for black people, that's what he'd do. Why? Because that would tick off white folks, and because Jamil Al-Amin didn't do it according to the physical evidence, but that's beside the point. It would tick off white folks. You ain't a pro-black president if you were not pardoning the nightmare black people for white folks. Let Assata Shakur off the hook. Let Jamil Alameen off the hook. Let him go home. Besides, he didn't do it anyway. Another man confessed. Let the Angola 3 out. Oh, and give him a stipend while you at it, because you kept him locked up for all this time. No, it's war. And don't think for one second that I'm forgetting who the real war. You see, the Indian is not at war with you per se. The Pakistani is not at war with you. The Arab is not at war with you. Neither is the Persian or the Afghan. They don't like you. They forget that you're equal at times, or they may like you still just less than they like people of their own phenotype, and they still forget that you're equal. But they're not necessarily at war with you. They don't have a concept of racial hatred. They just have a concept of racial separation. They want to stay looking like they are. Their major taboo is not marrying you. That's the truth. And that's fine. Have a taboo against marrying them. That's why I tell you, you can go cisbim, go SYSBM, but don't run to them women. Because you're going to have to jump through hoops you shouldn't have to jump through. That's still not fair to you. Well, I'm telling you, when it comes to these Beckys and Karens and Ambers, that's war. They are at war with you. You're going to have to jump through hoops to get to them, then jump through hoops to stay with them. You do not want to be in a situation where you got to beg one of them to not weaponize the cops against you because they're angry and they saw the niggerilla in you. I didn't say that you let it out. I said they saw it in you because they got angry. Because understand this, when you actually do have them scared, you show them that stereotype, that King Kong, which was used to symbolize black masculinity, specifically Jack Johnson back when it first came out, the old version. Don't get it twisted. When you show them that, they're more afraid at that point than they are when you're nice and calm and you're trying to talk reasonably to them, but they're angry. Oh, he's not going to beat me. He's not going to snatch the phone out of my hand. He's not going to do none of this stuff. No, he's not doing any of this. So I'm going to call the cops because he's not going to beat me while I'm calling them. And then I'm going to act like I'm really scared so that they'll shoot the niggerilla. That's war, gentlemen. So, fight to win, get them hell 54th. Black heart, black mind, blackout. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And black heterosexual thinking male power specifically because they don't like it.